So, hello there, and welcome back to another Night of the Movies video. I'm, of course, Spike Knight, and in these videos, I love talking about things, movies and TV, and whatever I want, whenever I want. And in today's video, I'm reviewing this new horror movie, Backrooms. So, let's get into it, shall we? Backrooms, as I just said, is this new horror movie which is based on the web series with the same name. And I knew barely anything about this film. I knew barely anything about Backrooms as a concept before I saw this movie at the cinema yesterday. I knew that Backrooms was this viral thing on the internet. I'd heard about it over the past couple of months in the lead up to this film. I'd heard a lot of people discussing it, but I've never seen any of the Backrooms web series. I've seen like pictures from it, but I haven't seen any of the web series itself. And I'd heard that the guy who is behind the Backrooms web series, his name is Kane Parsons, I heard that he actually directed this movie. He directed the Backrooms film, and that he is only something like 20 years old, and he's already directed a full-length feature film from a prolific studio. Like, if people don't know, A24 is the production studio behind this movie, and they're becoming more prolific as the years go on. And like I already said, Kane Parsons, who is a director behind this film, is only something like 20 years old, which makes me question what the hell I'm doing with my life when a 20-year-old has already directed a movie like this. But yes, I knew barely anything about Backrooms before I saw this movie yesterday. I heard it was a viral thing on the internet, but that was pretty much all I knew about this film. And I went to see it yesterday not expecting much, because sometimes when you get a directorial debut, it's not always the best. You know what I mean? You can tell sometimes when you watch a directorial debut, you can tell it's a directorial debut. You can tell it's someone's first full-length feature film. And when I heard that it was coming from a 20-year-old as well, I was thinking, oh, is it gonna feel like a proper movie, or is it going to feel like a student film, you know? And I was kind of worried it was going to be the latter. But I went into this film hoping for the best. I have no recollection of watching the trailers for this movie over the past month or so when I went to the cinema to go and watch other horror movies. Like, I went to go and see Obsession a couple of weeks ago now, and I'm sure I saw the trailer for this film before I watched Obsession. But I have no recollection, so I really didn't know what I was going in for at all when it came to this film. Still, I went to go and see it yesterday, hoping for the best. And the Google plot synopsis of this film goes as follows. After a therapist patient disappears into a dimension beyond reality, she must venture into the unknown to save him. And that's pretty much all you need to know about this film before seeing it. And honestly, here's the thing. I went into the cinema to watch the film yesterday. I was tired. I wasn't really sure if I was in the mood for this movie. But actually, it really surprised me. And I ended up liking this film a lot. I'm not saying it's without its flaws, and I can see why the ending would frustrate some people. But I might even go as far as to say this. I loved this film. I was really taken by it. It's hauntingly inviting. It's engrossing in a way that I haven't really felt with many movies over the past however many years. And I was sat there and I was just so into it. I was so into everything that was going on. Now, that might be because this is my first exposure to the whole Backrooms idea, and maybe if I watched the film again, I wouldn't feel the same way. But I came out of this film going, what the hell was that? But I mean that in the best way possible. I was sat there through so many moments in the film thinking, what is this? What's going on? I've never seen anything like this before. I've seen things that remind me of this. Like, I've heard since I watched the film that the TV show Severance, which is one of my favourite TV shows, which has come out over the past 10 years, was actually inspired by this whole idea. It was actually inspired by the whole Backrooms web series. And I can see that now when I look back on Severance. But at the same time, this very much feels like its own thing. It was so original to me. And yes, I'm fully aware that this film is based on a web series with the same name. I am fully aware, hence why I said it early on in this video today. But as I've already said, I'm somebody who's never seen the web series, and I think this film does a remarkably good job at introducing the audience who might not be familiar with the web series. Like me, it does a very good job at introducing the world of Backrooms to an audience who may not be familiar with what this concept is, with what Backrooms is, because our main character, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor in this film, is being introduced to the world himself. We are literally following him as he goes into the back rooms in this movie, and I was like, what is going on? I mean that in the best way possible. Like I've already said, I can see where the ending of the film may frustrate some people, because without going into spoilers, a lot of this film isn't explained. Yes, there's a hell of a lot of questions which are left unanswered when you get to the end of this movie. And again, I can see that frustrating people. Some people might want answers as to what the hell's going on. And if they do make more Backrooms movies, which I do think they will, by the way, the film has done well at the box office already. And the end of this film, I do think, sets up sequels. But I was fine with the fact that this film, and again, I might feel differently about a sequel, but I would find that this film didn't answer many questions as to what the actual Backrooms concept is. I was fine with the fact that I got to the end of this film and there were still so many unanswered questions. I was okay about that, because I actually like horror movies that leave a lot of questions unanswered and leave things ambiguous. I don't like movies that literally answer every single question, unless it's a movie which kind of warrants that. Like if it's a murder mystery, sure, you want every question to be answered, but in the case of this film, I didn't want every question to be answered. I like that the mystery of the Backrooms is still a mystery. I still don't have a clue what was going on whilst I was watching the film, and I kind of love that about it. The film itself, it kind of plays like a haunted house movie on drugs. It's creepy and unpredictable, and you really don't know what's going to happen. You really don't know what's coming right around the corner, right around the next corner in this film. It is constantly throwing things at you that you really don't see coming. And I loved that about it. It was a creepy movie, and I mean that. I was actually, I felt creeped out by this film. This film got under my skin. It was a horror movie that made me feel scared. And I can't tell you how many horror movies I go to watch in the cinema and I don't feel scared by them. I watched Obsession, which I mentioned earlier on this review today, a couple of weeks ago now, and I wasn't really scared by Obsession. It just, I don't know, that film didn't work for me, but I was watching this film and it did get under my skin. I was like, what the hell is this? This is like my worst nightmare that I never even realised. And I love that about this film. I love when horror movies tap into something that scares you and you hadn't even realised it before, you know what I mean? And yeah, the whole film is like this trippy haunted house movie that keeps you on your feet. It also has this great use of found footage, something which became popular because of the Blair Witch Project, which used the whole found footage idea very well. I also thought it was used well in the first Cloverfield movie, but there's been a lot of horror movies which have not used found footage well, and I can't really think of a good movie that's used found footage well over the past 10 years. But Backrooms is an exception there. Backrooms used the whole found footage idea very well, and it also adds to the whole of the film because it makes everything feel convincing. Even so, the whole idea of Backrooms is like, on paper, it just sounds so out there. It sounds like it shouldn't work in the slightest, and it should be so unbelievable. You're watching the film and you totally buy into it. The production design, the set design in this movie is so eerie and haunting, and I was watching the film going, oh my god, this is making me feel really creeped out, and I kind of love that about it. And also, you can clearly tell this film is made by somebody who understands the world of Backrooms. Now, there has been some rumours put out there, some reports. I don't totally buy into them, but there have been some reports put out there over the past week or so that actually Kane Parsons, who was credited as a director of the film, didn't actually direct this movie, and that he was more of a ghost director. And maybe that was the case, because one thing I will say is this film felt like it was from somebody who had directed movies in the past. It didn't feel like it was from a first-time filmmaker. However, it also felt like it was from somebody who completely understands this world. So I can kind of see both point of views. It wouldn't shock me if it came out in a year's time that Kane Parsons didn't actually direct this movie, or didn't solely direct this film, should I say. But I also think he was heavily involved in the film nonetheless. I think you can tell when you watch the movie, and again, I'm somebody who had not seen the web series. I knew nothing, I knew barely anything about Backrooms, the whole idea of Backrooms, before I watched this film, but I could tell while I was watching this movie that it was coming from somebody who knew this idea, who knew it inside out, who knew every nook and cranny of Backrooms and the whole idea behind it. You could tell that it's made by somebody who wanted to make this film, and I think he got to make the film he wanted to make. And if he did direct this movie, if he did actually direct it, and if it was all him, then he did a really fantastic job. Because I've already said, it does not feel like a directorial debut. Sometimes you watch a directorial debut and you're like, yeah, I can tell this is from a first-time filmmaker. This does not feel like it's from a first-time filmmaker in the slightest. Honestly, I was very surprised by how much the film worked for me. It's a strange movie, and that's another reason I don't think it's going to work for everybody. It's a strange film with a capital S. But, wow, I had such a memorable experience watching this in the cinema. I was sat there so many moments thinking, what the hell was going on? And I mean that in the best way possible. I love when a film just completely surprises you in a way you don't see coming. And again, it's not going to be for everybody. Some people will not like the end, because, again, without going into spoilers, it leaves a lot in the air. But personally, I came out of the film and I was thinking, wow, I haven't watched the whole movie like that in what feels like quite a bit of time. You know, I think I loved it. And I'm not quite sure, in all honesty, why I loved it, but I hope today's video tried to put my finger on some of the reasons as to why I loved it, because yeah, this is not the film I thought it was going to be, and I haven't really been able to stop thinking about it since I saw it yesterday. So yeah, I loved Backrooms. I thought it was great. And so all in all, I'm gonna say that Backrooms, I'm gonna give it a, you know what, I'm feeling generous. I don't have a clue why I'm feeling generous, but I'm feeling generous nonetheless. I'm gonna give this film a 9 out of 10. Yeah. I don't care what anybody says. I've seen some criticism regarding this movie, saying that the narrative is a bit thin and it's a bit repetitive, but I didn't feel that. I thought the film really kept you on your feet for the sort of film this was. Like, as soon as the film started to lose me at one point, something else happened. There's a scene at a dinner table in this film. If you've seen the film, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I was watching that scene thinking, what is this? I'm so into it. But like, I was really taken aback by this movie, and I was sat there watching the film. I was so into it, I was so engrossed in this movie. It's hauntingly inviting. It keeps you on your toes. Sure, the movie takes like half an hour to fully get going, in my opinion, but once it does get going, wow. I really like. I mean, I loved it even. You know, and again, it's not going to be for everybody, and maybe this film won't have the same impact for people as it did for me who have watched the web series. You know, I haven't watched the web series, and so this film did have a certain impact on me. Like, I haven't really seen anything like this before, and I can see people who watch the web series maybe being disappointed by this film because, I don't know, maybe the novelty is no longer there. But for me, this was like my first exposure to Backrooms, and I kind of fell in love with it in this way that I really didn't expect to. Yeah, it's engrossing, hauntingly inviting. It's very well made, I think. And if this was all Kane Parsons behind the camera, if this was Kane Parsons solely directing this movie, I think he did an absolutely superb job, you know, because it feels like it's from somebody who has directed quite a lot of horror movies in the past. It feels like it's from it feels like it's from a horror director who knows what he's doing, you know? It feels like it's from a director who's made a lot of horror movies in the past, and I mean that in the best way possible. It's well made, the characters are all interesting in their own ways as well, and the whole film just has this unsettling feel to it, and you kind of can't get away from it, though, and I mean that in the best way possible, you know? It grabs you and it doesn't really let go until the end. And again, the end may frustrate some people, but I love the end. I thought the end worked. I will say, if they continue to make Backrooms movies, which I do think they will, I hope they explain more, but right now, I was left satisfied by how the mystery of Backrooms was still left a mystery by the end of this film. I love this movie, and I'm kind of shocked that I'm saying that, but I'm so glad that I am. And so, all in all, as what he said, as I'm going to say once more in this review today, Backrooms is a 9 out of 10 from me. Anyway guys, that's it for today's video. If you have seen Backrooms, please let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching this video today. And if you haven't yet, please click down below and like and subscribe on this video if you enjoyed the video, of course. And look forward to many videos like this coming very, very soon on this channel. As already said, thank you for watching this video today. And I'll see you guys again soon. But bye for now. Bye.